All right, welcome. Today, we're putting two powerful AI tools head-to-head in what I'm calling the ultimate code repo showdown. In one corner, we have the heavyweight generalist, ChatGPT, and in the other, a purpose-built specialist, ExplainGitHub. The big question is, which one can actually understand a complex code repository?
You know, this is the big promise of AI for developers, isn't it? The idea that we can turn those long, painful hours of digging through code into just a few minutes of clear understanding. But does that promise actually hold up in the real world? Can we really get all that time back? Well, we're about to find out. So, first, let's talk about a feeling that every single developer out there knows all too well. That moment you're faced with a brand new, complex code base. You know the drill. You're dropped into a new project, you open it up, and you're just staring at this wall of code. It can take hours, sometimes even days, just to figure out where to begin, how everything connects. It's a massive time sink, and all that time you're spending just trying to understand is time you're not actually building or innovating.
Okay, so this is where AI is supposed to come in and save the day, right? To see if it could, we set up a direct challenge, a well-known generalist versus a purpose-built specialist.
So, our contenders. First, you've got the one everyone knows, ChatGPT, the super smart AI that can pretty much do a bit of everything. And in the other corner, we've got ExplainGitHub, a tool that's laser-focused on doing just one thing really, really well, reading and understanding code repositories. We gave them both the exact same, pretty tricky question using the DeepCode repository. We asked them to explain the entire workflow, from the moment a research paper PDF gets uploaded, all the way through the complex processing steps, right up until code is finally generated. This isn't a simple lookup, it forces the AI to understand the full end-to-end journey.
So first up to the plate was ChatGPT. We fed it the prompt, started the timer, and here's what happened.
After about 2.5 minutes, ChatGPT came back with its answer. Not instant, but not terrible. But the real question is, how good was the answer itself? What we got was a pretty good conceptual summary. It understood the big picture and gave a high-level overview. But it felt really generic. It was like it was guessing based on how these kinds of apps are usually built, It didn't mention a single specific file or function from the actual repository.
And that's the bottom line with its answer. It's helpful, sure, but it gives you a vague map. You still have to do all the hard work yourself, digging through the code to find out if its conceptual guess is even right. You're not saving as much time as you'd hope.
Okay, now for ExplainGitHub. And honestly, the difference was staggering. We're talking night and day. 3 seconds. That's not a typo, not 2.5 minutes, but 3 seconds. ExplainGitHub delivered a complete, detailed answer almost instantly. Just the speed alone was absolutely jaw-dropping. And just look at this answer. This is not a summary. It is a verifiable roadmap straight through the actual code. It names the specific UI component, the exact handler function that triggers the process, and it traces the entire pipeline, file by file, function by function. This is the real deal. So this is a totally different kind of takeaway. It's not an educated guess. It's a direct, precise, and actionable walkthrough that is grounded in the code itself. You can trust it, you can follow it, and you can get to work immediately. And this test just perfectly illustrates the huge difference between a generalist AI and a tool that's built specifically for this task. We're really looking at a new class of AI here. I mean, when you put the results side by side like this, it's just undeniable. 2.5 minutes versus 3 seconds. A conceptual guess versus a verifiable code path. For a developer who needs to do deep, accurate code exploration, the specialist tool isn't just a little better, it's in a completely different league. Now, think about what this really means. Onboarding a new engineer to your team, instead of them spending days reading documentation and you spending hours in meetings, they can just ask the system and understand the core workflows of your project on their very first day. The onboarding process gets crushed from days down to minutes. So this is what ExplainGitHub delivers. You get instant code understanding. You can even visualize the entire repository with a feature called Git diagram to see how it all connects. It works on your private company repos just as well as public open source ones. And maybe the best part? It's completely free with 0 limitations. So,
This all leads to one final, really powerful question. This isn't just about understanding code faster. It's about reclaiming countless hours from that tedious exploration and putting that time toward what actually matters: building, creating, and innovating. So what could you do with all that time back?